Okay, so special event for today. An open apology for ELC for hurting their feelings. For February 19th, 2014, that's yesterday. Ever since September 2011, my dear friend Stefan and I have been organizing an event in the university's English Language Center, that's the ELC, named Intercultural Exchange. It is a casual language corner kind of event where people just walk in and talk about anything that interests them. It's a weekly event, and since its establishment has attracted a loyal group of followers including undergraduate students, postgraduates, and alumni. Stefan first coined the name of the event, and we cannot be prouder of how much we have achieved. Our relationship with the ELC has always been very simple. Neither Stefan nor I are ELC staff, so we only get to use the ELC lounge after 6 p.m. when no more official ELC events are occurring. And in case ELC is hosting a special event at that time, we would have to go and make way for them. We also don't receive any financial aid from the ELC, so it's simple. ELC lends us the venue when no one else is using them, and we don't get any entitlement for that. It's not that complicated, and the collaboration has been very harmonious. Despite a little bit of paperwork Stefan has to routinely fill out, we're happy about where we're at. But just last Thursday, and that's February 13th, we found out that ELC has named one of their own events Intercultural Exchange. The nature of the event is not so much different from ours, with the only difference being that the hosts are exchange students. Their event occurs twice a week, and one time slot is right before our event. They also printed the weekly schedule out with both intercultural exchange events on there. As you can imagine, I was very angry about this, and so I used a marker and wrote on their laminated schedule sheet to tell them to not use our event name without telling us. And today, which is yesterday, ELC staff has responded by accusing us of being unreasonable. I summarized their argument as follows. Number 1, intercultural exchange is a common phrase. Just ask Google. Number 2, people would definitely not be confused by the name clash. Number 3, other names would be misleading since the host of their event may change from time to time. Only a general term like intercultural exchange can cover all circumstances. Number 4, it's childish to write on their publicly displayed schedule, and they're very upset about it. Now, as the person who is wholly responsible for number 4, I would like to apologize for what I have done. It was indeed immature and irresponsible. Unlike the ELC, the symbol of maturity, who, with a full team of trained staff excelling in the English language, could not come up with an event name that does not include intercultural or exchange at the same time. Of course, I know we don't own the name intercultural exchange. It's definitely a common phrase with staggering 349,000 results from Google search. We didn't register that name, but we did run an event under that title for 2.5 years by now, with numerous appearances on posters and promotion emails in the university. Our Facebook group has over 180 members, and we organize regular outing trips and gatherings. We don't own these two words, but the name has been connected to our event all this time. Of course, nobody will be confused by the casual mention of intercultural exchange on a general term, nor would anyone think of any other event when we talk about intercultural exchange, the event held every week in the ELC. You're not plagiarizing, you're just taking. We adapted the title first, and while we definitely do not own the copyright of the title, we would prefer to not share our name with another event. Because why? Because it confuses people. We don't own the title, but we sure own the event itself. To have another event under the same title would raise questions ranging from, why is there a second intercultural exchange after the first one? 2, who would be stupid enough to deliberately name their event after someone else's, knowing very clearly that people would be confused? If you happen to know 2 people with the exact same name, would you not be confused about which one is being referred to when that name is mentioned? This is common sense, and to not realize that and still went on to use a name we have used for the past 2.5 years shows how little respect you have for us from the very beginning. Because you knew the confusion would not hurt you. You had your event title in bold letters followed by a string of description. Our modest title just sits quietly below in a purple box. Now, which intercultural exchange event do you want to join? Of course, you're not obligated to give us lounge or promote our event, but we did ask for your permission, and you agreed, by the way, and went through official procedures to make this event happen. All we're asking for is your empty lounge for an hour every week. If you don't want our event to take place, just kick us out. Instead, you adapted a subtle approach to secretly use our event title for one of your own to create predictable confusion which would make us look like the copycat. And other names not being able to cover the changeable nature of the event. Are you sure? Because when you say that, you're not saying, I've done my best. You're saying, I have dozens of staff with degrees in English who can play around with English words like the Monkey King can play around with his own body hair, but we just can't come up with a name other than intercultural exchange that could explain the possible change of the event host. How about intercultural exchange, but not the one held after 6 p.m. Or intercultural exchange, we're just using the other event's name because, duh, we are too lazy to think of our own. And why are we the one who has to come up with a new name? So it's our fault now that we happen to have named our event with a commonly used phrase 2.5 years before ELC staff realized that they need the title? Is it our fault that we forgot to ask ELC if they would, in the future, name one of their events Intercultural Exchange? Why does the late runner get to own the trophy? I know this is super trivial, but give me a reason why the name clash is our fault. And me writing on your schedule? Don't make such a fuss. You can erase the words with chemicals from biology labs 2 minutes away from the ELC. Of course I know it's extremely childish, because what else would you expect from a 22-year-old who refuses to enter adulthood? And this is an apology after all, because we shouldn't have named our event before you, and I shouldn't have lashed out on schedule to write down exactly what you did. Do I have any regrets? Are you kidding? Of course not. I did that specifically to upset you, because otherwise you will use the exact same reasons to justify your name choice, only without accusing me of being childish. Actually, I don't even think you would ever bring this up with us if we didn't ask you about it in the first place. Is that your plan? To snatch our name and pretend there is absolutely nothing wrong with that? Because why should we be upset? You deliberately name one of your events after another long-running event hosted by non-ELC people without notifying them beforehand. And now those irresponsible bastards are upset? How dare they? They should be delighted. They should just find another name for their petty little chat room and let you own the title. And ELC should be left alone, because taking someone else's event name and pretend it will not bother us at all is such stressful work. Poor ELC is just trying to do their job. Your actions are so justified that you're mentally damaged by me writing it down with a marker. Now, I know it's not difficult to give our event a new name because, after all, our team is made up of 2 brilliant people, Seven and I. Of course we can come up with a cooler name than Intercultural Exchange. I also realize that this is very trivial, because we should have expected to lose when our event title gets taken by a university teaching center. And fighting back is pointless. And no, ELC is not victimizing themselves, nor are they bullying us. They're just reasoning with us after using our event title and accusing me of being immaturely upset about it. Vivian.